what you want to do is take these two nuts off, and then this whole cover comes off. Then you want to remove the bar and the chain. And see all this buildup of sawdust? You need to clean all that out on both. You also want to make sure that the oiling port is clear. This right here. Then you also want to make sure that there's nothing built up in the guide for the bar. So this is the port that the lube comes out of. So you want to make sure it's all cleaned out. You want to make sure that these holes here are all cleaned out. It's long like this because the bar slides back and forth. Oh, you know, as you use the bar, you have to adjust it out, take up for the chain wear, and that's the hole right here. And there's one on either side. You want to make sure that the track's cleaned out in both the holes, so you don't have to worry about which one which side you install the bar. And you also want to clean out the brake. So after you got everything all cleaned up, put it all back together, put the bar on, and you've got a lube hole on either side of the bar, so it doesn't matter which way you put the bar on. You can't really put it on backwards. Then put the chain on the bar, and what I usually do is hold it down like this at the bottom, and then pull the chain out, pull the bar out, so it's kind of tight. You want to make sure, you want to look at your chain before you take it off, so you put it on the right way. You have to put it on the right way. Most chainsaws will have a guide that will show you how the chain's supposed to go on. That's the chain adjuster. And then this right here is this is the adjuster for the lube on the chain. It's on the bottom. There's I'd have it on the max. You want a nice wet chain. You also have to make sure that this goes into this hole here. So you may have to back that out some. Then you want to install these just finger tight. Make sure the chain's in the groove on both sides, and then you want to adjust this out so you get nice tension on the chain. Once you're satisfied with the chain tension, then go ahead and tighten the nuts down. So when you look at the chain, if it's lubing correctly, the chain should be completely wet. We're also going to put a little bit of grease in this hole here. So put the grease in and turn the chain a little bit, and you're gonna have to, you can use a grease gun, but just put a dollop of grease on there and just keep pushing it in with your finger and turning the chain a little bit so you get 360 degrees. There's one on each side. So I put the bar back on. The cutter on this chain, I think it's the chisel type. It can either be semi, chisel, or square. And I think this looks more like the chisel. And then for the chain itself, it can be standard, semi skip, or full skip, and what that refers to is the links. This is a standard chain, but they also have semi skip where you know, you have like one link that doesn't have a cutter on it, and then you have the cutter and then no link, link without a cutter and then another cutter. That's standard. And then semi skip will have two links with no cutter, then they'll have a cutter, then one link, then a cutter, then two links without cutters, and then you have the full skip, which has two links without a cutter, two links without a cutter, and then two links without a cutter, and that's repeated. So you will put the side cover on, or the brake cover, or whatever, and you want to just tighten these up just snug. Then using a screwdriver, you want to turn this clockwise to bring the bar out. Keep checking the slack. That's probably pretty good. And go ahead and tighten these up. Make sure your chain turns before you get everything. See, I put this together, I didn't check that, and see how the chain's off the sprocket. So you need to go through the adjustment process again, tighten those up snug. You want to make sure that it's on the sprocket this time, which it is. Make sure the chain turns freely. Just take a screwdriver to advance the chain. To sharpen, put a black mark on one of the cutter blades. Then you need something like this. See how it has 30 degrees? What you want to do is hold this at 30 and you push it. You don't pull it back, you lift it up, and you do the same on this. You line it up 30 degrees, push, lift up. You go around the whole chain. Look at my gas can. It was in the hot sun, and then I put it in the utility room every night where it was real cool. it imploded. Really dislike this gas can anyway. I can't find like the old-fashioned gas cans, you know. It's got this fancy valve or something, and so see, it holds gas inside, but when you pull it out, you lose like 3 or 4 ounces of gas. It's so ridiculous, and you got to put it in there. It won't seal if you don't put it in there. You know, the top on, when you put the top on, it'll leak if you turn it on its side or anything, so you have to put that in there. And like I said, when you take it out, if the gas can's full, you lose like 4 ounces of gas. You point the tip of the chainsaw and pull the trigger, you should get a slider pattern on a piece of wood. Something that's happened with this chain is that it's stretched unevenly. Some places it's real tight. In other places it's not. That's really dangerous. So I bought a new chain. Okay, so I have to get a new chain for my chainsaw because it's got a section that's uneven wear where it's stretched more than the other. I think I hit, well, you know, we had a big storm here and I was helping out to get a tree out of the road, and I hit the street a couple times, and then I hit the neighbor's chain link fence when I was helping remove some a down tree in her backyard. That may have done it. You know, the chain is, you know, it's not marked or anything, and there's nothing on the bar that says, you know, I measured the bar and it's definitely a 20-inch bar. And the only thing that's on the chain is on the depth gauges. It says 25. So I'm assuming that's the pitch, which is 0.325. Most chains, I can't get this to zoom back again. Oh, there it goes. So most chains are either 0.325, and I don't know why they say either 3.25 or 3/8, because, you know, like I think let's see, what I think 5/8 is like 0.325, and I'm pretty sure that, like, you know, 3/8 is 0.375, I think. So yeah, I think 0.325 is something like 5/8, and they say that 0.325, it's either that, the pitch, or 3/8. And I don't know, why don't they have the decimal equivalent? You know, why don't they use fractions for both or decimal for both? I think the decimal equivalent for 3/8, I think that's 0.375. So I know it's kind of confusing, but, you know, this chain is definitely, it's definitely, the pitch is 0.325, and I'll measure that now. So to measure the pitch, you want to have a straight part of the chain, and, well, I guess it doesn't matter really if it's, well, it's always going to be the same, even if the chain's crooked. So anyway, so what you want to do is you want to So what you want to do is you want to measure between three of the rivets, the centers. So what you do is let me zero this out. So you measure between three from the centers. So that's about the center for any three rivets. So it doesn't matter where they are. They're all going to be the same. So that's the pitch. That's one of the key. So then you divide whatever you get. You divide that by 2. So dividing that by 2, you're going to get like 320 something. So, you know, it's off like, you know, a couple thousandths of an inch. Yeah, it's 0.325 is 325 thousandths of an inch. So, you know, that's pretty close. You know, if it was like 375, or it would have to be like around 700. Half of 700 would be 350. So it would have to be a little bit. You know, it'd be something like, if you're measuring the centers, it would have to be something like that. You know, it would have to be. See, and that's not on the center. So you know, 3/8 would be. So it'd be like something. 3/8 would be something like 750. So see, that isn't anywhere near, you know, three links. There's no way. So that would be, yes, that's that'd be like around 750 if you divide it by 2 to get 375. And the other measurement that you need is you need to count how many links. And this is a really oddball chain. It's got 76 links. And there's some steel, however they pronounce it, chains that are 76 links, and the gauge is 5/8. I'm sorry, the gauge is 0.058, and they'd have to order it. I call it a steel dealer, and they don't have the chain in stock. And what I do is I went to Amazon. I have Amazon Prime, so I ordered it yesterday, and it'll be delivered today. A new chain, and that's 2 of the pitch. That's the first part of the puzzle that you need. And the second one is how many links. And what I did is I stuck, not all chains have holes, but luckily this one does. I just stuck something through a pick through the hole there, and then it's counted all the way around. And then there's 76 links. And then the last one is what they call the gauge. And you have to measure the plate that goes in the track. See if I can get that. You have to measure this. That goes into the track, and so what I got on that. So I get like about around 51 to 55. So that's, you know, that's like 3 or 4 thousandths of an inch difference, but that's from where, you know, for 55, So I think this is like the gauge on this is 0.058 or 58 thousandths of an inch. And it's kind of weird because I measured the groove in the guide in the bar, and it's like 70 thousandths of an inch width, which, if you have 58, that's like about, a little bit over 5 thousandths of an inch on each side of the plate, the guide plate that goes around. I guess that's not too big. I mean, I was thinking maybe I should get a 63 thousandths because, that seems like that would be a little bit better, because you don't want the blade, the cutter, on the chain to tilt any. You want it to, and then you don't want to enough that it's going to cause friction and drag. So I don't know. I'm just going to put in what they had in it originally because it was cutting good. So I may, get a gauge at 0.063, chain at some future point and try it and see how it does. But for now, I have to get the work done that I have to do. I don't have time to experiment. So I ordered a chain closest to what the chain that was in this. Putting on the new chain. Make sure the brake works. Make sure that the cutters are facing the right way. The chain spins clockwise, so you should be on the right, the cutting edge. I don't know, but any chainsaw that spins the opposite direction. You gotta make sure you get it on the hub. There's a lot of space in there. You can get it, so you gotta make sure it goes on the drum, the gear. So when you turn the clutch, the chain should spin if it's on the gear. Like I said, make sure the brake works. Then this has to go into this hole here. So this is what adjusts the chain tension. So it moves this in and out. So this is how it moves it in and out. I gotta adjust this back way far. It's a brand new chain. tighten it up a little bit, just so it's snug. And tighten it up. Then you want to slide it around the, make sure that there's no, it's not binding anywhere. And if you want to sharpen the chain, take a magic marker and mark one of the links or the cutters. You need something like this. And it's got 30 degrees. So what you do is you put this on here like 30 degrees. So this line right here is parallel with the chain movement. And what you do is you go 1, 2, 3. And you don't pull it back, you lift it up and go back. And then the other side, you have to do the same thing. So there's a 30 degree. You get that parallel, you do the same thing. You go 1, 2, 3. You lift up and come back. You just keep doing that all the right way around the chain until you get to the length that you mark. I use Stable in my gas. It's really good, especially if you don't use all the gas you buy in a month. I always buy too much gas because in case of emergency, I have it. And so I just put Stable in and it lasts a long time. This cost at Walmart was $4. If you go to $4 and change. If you go to like Home Depot, it's like $8 and some change. So if you get it at Walmart, you save $4. Well, it's time to get to work. We got hit by a really bad windstorm, and I estimate that the winds were up to 70 miles an hour. I was looking, I wasn't right up against the window, but I couldn't see anything out. It was just like rain and leaves and a couple branches going by, and I mean, it was terrible.